Buff Nation, today we're talking about the risers and fallers from what I saw and what other people have reported about coming from Colorado's first spring scrimmage for the 2025 season. That happened this past weekend. So, hey, let me know what are some of the things that you guys liked. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get started. I have like a little notes app, so I'm going to read these off. Then I'm going to get to some of your comments. First off, let's get to risers with the running back room. Seems like Dallin Hayden is taking most of the starting snaps with, of course, Michael Welsh rotating in as well. I think they have both looked good from the limited amount of play that I've seen. There is like a rumor going around, I guess, right now. We'll see once it's like officially reported that Isaiah Augustive might be entering the transfer portal, which is why we haven't seen him. Maybe he's dealing with injury, but that's something to keep an eye on. But we also saw some Brandon Hood throughout this scrimmage as well. But ultimately, I am right now hoping for a Dallin Hayden bounce back this year and to see Michael Welsh take another really solid step this year. And hopefully they can be a nice 1-2 punch with this running game. One thing that I really did like was the utilization of Isaiah Harge coming into his third year, now a redshirt sophomore. Seems like he's going to be operating out of the slot quite a bit. And guys, I mean, I want to just give credit to me, it just seems like he's been taking the strength and conditioning, nutrition, all that really seriously, because he is just, when you compare him to where he was at 2 years ago, I mean, he's just so much thicker paws, well developed, looking strong. Just has filled out his frame more, which is what you want to see when you bring in some of these guys that they're not exactly, play as true freshman type of guys, right? They need some seasoning. They need a little bit of development. And this is when you expect them to take that jump in this third year. Isaiah Harge, I think, looked fantastic out of the slot. Kaidon Salter had a really nice pass to him on like a sprint rollout. He was also hit on like an RPO, a slant play, I believe on Ivan Yates later on that I saw on the well-off. I think he looks great. And plenty of receivers are looking fantastic. Joseph Williams with a nice big catch downfield, burned whatever safeties we had back there. I wasn't sure who it was. But Joseph Williams and Kaidon Salter seem to be developing like a really nice chemistry. It was great to see Omarion Miller back out there as well. I think he was mainly working with the twos. I think he's been out a little bit due to maybe some injury or some recovery. Maybe it had to do with his ankle still. I'm not entirely sure, but it was great to see him back out there. DJ McKinney had some big plays. He broke up a big jump ball thrown, I think it was from Julian Lewis to Omarion Miller. It's kind of 50-50. I think Julian underthrew it just a little bit, which allowed DJ to get back in position and break that thing up. I think he looked fantastic. And now that I'm talking about the corners, we didn't see Colton Hood out there, but we saw him talking with Champ Bailey on the sideline, which was really, really cool. Love to see Champ visiting another gold jacket guy. Obviously, really cool to see Denver Broncos CU connection continuing to increase since Coach Prime has been here. Really love the fact that Champ is working with the Buffs. I think that's just really, really special. But with DJ McKinney, he had that big breakup on Omarion Miller. But then he also picked off Julian Lewis on an overthrow from Draylon Miller. And that was phenomenal as well. I think DJ Colton, they're going to be fantastic on the outside. Another interesting thing that I picked up on, maybe Cash is out due to injury or something like that, but we had, why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? But the guy who transferred in from Louisiana Tech, I'll find his name here in just a minute. He was starting with the ones, and then you had Yo-Yo Atia working at center for the second string. He mainly came in as a guard. I think he's played a little bit of center. He did have one snap that was pretty bad. It almost looked like a direct snap to Brandon Hood I don't think it was intended to be that way. But we also saw still on the offensive line with the first team, exciting stuff. Zach Owens is still right there in between center and Jordan Seaton at the left guard position. Zach Owens, another guy that's going into his third year of college football, one with Clemson, was with CU last year, going into his third year, redshirt sophomore. This is the time, baby. This is the time, baby, that we see these players really start to have impactful roles on the team. Love to see that. So very happy about what we've seen in terms of the development at the left guard position there. We'll keep the center stuff monitored as well. It seems like Mana Taimani is still right now the guy at starting right tackle. We'll see how that develops. I would still like us to target another tackle from the transfer portal when that opens, either this week or next week. Interesting. I got a few more notes here. RJ Johnson had a really nice pass breakup on Terrell Timmons that I saw. Number 5, keep an eye on RJ Johnson. Robert Livingston has talked about him with glowing praise this spring. If he's a DB that like steps up and is a guy like Colton Hood, for instance, that really kind of had that first breakout last year. If RJ Johnson has a similar type of breakout to Colton Hood, oh man, I'm going to feel so much better about the depth of our secondary. So really, really like that. Few more notes here. Carter Stoutmeyer, I believe he picked off Kaidon Salter. That was a really nice pick that he had. I think Salter kind of overthrew that one a little bit as well. Julian Lewis had a really nice hard count to get the D-line to jump off sides. Looked like a pro there. He almost had a nice pass completed over the DB, just where Cam McKell could get it, but it was slightly out of bounds. Really close play. And London Merritt, true freshman, it was almost like a strip where like he hit Julian Lewis's arm when he was throwing. So it wasn't like a strip sack, but it wasn't like a batted ball either. Really nice play from London Merritt. Looked incredibly quick. Number 44, like Jordan Dominic was in 2023. But, Coach Prime was a little upset about that. Do not hit the quarterback. So the offense still got the first down. Terrell Timmons had a nice touchdown on a screen from Kaidon Salter. That was great. Ryan Staub had a really nice throw to Quentin Gibson for a touchdown. It was great to see. And yeah, regarding what DNVR had to say, again, they get a lot more access than to what is just put on for regular people like you or me on YouTube through Well Off Media or whatnot. DNVR, this is why I included Arden Walker in the thumbnail. They say he's going crazy this spring. He had a great spring scrimmage as well, really asserting himself as like the leader of this edge room, this D-line group. I love that. It is so important to see another bump up in play this year from Arden Walker. I think he's been primed for that. I think this is his last year. And if he has if he's our best edge this year, yeah, I think that there's a good possibility that he could put himself on NFL draft boards, which is really, really exciting. So rooting really hard for Arden Walker. I think you saw him establish himself as a leader this past year. And really, he's improved every year. He's been here with CU. So I can't wait to see what he does. It's kind of now the leader of that group, the veteran of that group. They also mentioned how Jeremiah Brown and Kylan Salter right now have been mainly the first team linebackers. I love that. Kylan Salter, Kaidon Salter's little brother, coming over here from TCU. He's mainly been injured. Mainly, I think, has played a little bit of special teams. Kind of a wild card. Hey, if we're able to get some of these guys that end up being real contributors for us in the transfer portal like that, that's a huge win. And I think it's credit to Coach Hart, baby. And they said Jeremiah Brown is playing better. We'll need to see. We'll need to see. Can Salter and Brown hold on to these positions ahead of Reggie Hughes, ahead of Martavius French, some linebackers that I've been really excited about coming in here from the transfer portal. Jalen Wester also had a really nice tackle on Brandon Hood. He's somebody to also keep an eye on with his second year in this defense. Might be one of our fastest, if not the fastest linebacker that we have. Very interesting. So the linebacker position, I still think, is totally, a wild card up in the air on who earns those starting snaps. But it's good to see guys like Salter talked about as being real factors in terms of starting linebacker competition. Now, really, the only faller that I have from what I've seen right now, and this did upset me. Maybe I'm overblowing it a little too much, guys, but this did upset me. It was that this offensive line still is letting themselves get bodied, still letting themselves get dad-dicked by the defensive line. What is up with that? I do not like that. You saw 37. Was that Salter? I forget who number 37 is. Maybe you guys can point that out to me in the comments. But I think he went up and like straight up punched Yo-Yo in the face, or maybe it was Tyler Brown. I can't remember, but both of those guys were over there. You don't see the offensive line just beat the hell out of that dude. You just don't. How many times has Coach Prime had to grab the offensive line, bring them over in a huddle, and tell them to be bullies on the field? That is a slight concern that I have. And I'll agree with DNVR. I think we saw them take a step this past year in terms of their toughness from 2023 to 2024. But guys, if we're going to compete for a Big 12 title, if we're going to run the football, we need these guys like literally believing when they step on the field that they're the bullies of the field. We need them wanting to, dad dick the defensive line. They're still letting our defensive line, which I think might be the best position group on the team, granted, but they're still letting themselves get bullied. And it is frustrating, man, to see like that has just been a theme of this group, no matter what coach we have overseeing the group, is we see this offensive line continually get crapped on by the defensive line. We see it all the time. When are they going to start punching back? When are they going to start, straight up causing fights? When are they going to get a little dirty, a little chippy? That does piss me off a little bit, guys. I hate that we're in year 3 of this thing and we're still seeing an attitude adjustment that needs to happen with the offensive line. They still need an attitude adjustment. They need to be meaner. They need to be dirtier. I know that some of these guys are nice guys, but I don't want nice guys in the trenches once those cleats are on the field, man. I don't want that. They need to go crazy. They need to play with roid rage. All that, man. So that is really just the biggest faller right now, has just been the intensity or lack thereof of the entire offensive line group. Now, I do think that this is going to be a better group than in years past, talent-wise. But mentality-wise, again, check all that nice guy stuff at the door once you put on the pads. I don't like that. I don't like that. It's not even another defensive lineman coming up to punch an offensive lineman in the face. It's a linebacker. It is a linebacker. You're letting a linebacker embarrass you as an offensive lineman. And none of those guys are coming and teaching that guy a lesson. Whoever 37 is, man. Whoever 37 is. I did not like that. And that did upset me. And that's something that I'm hoping to God, when you got 3 offensive line coaches, that this is finally going to get solved. So, overall, love to see what's going on with a lot of the young guys, both on offense and defense. Kaidon Salter, Julian Lewis, it still seems like they're both having kind of their ups and downs. Again, I'm not going to make too big of a deal with any interceptions or overthrows or underthrows right now. Both of these guys still have, I think, steps to take before, I doubt they get close to performing the way Shedeur did this past year, but that doesn't mean that they can't run the offense both, very effectively this year. I think that both of them should be capable of doing that. And I think it is quite telling to see Kaidon Salter mainly running with those ones right now. He's going to be the guy to do it. And yeah, let's continue to get this offensive line attitude adjusted before we're throwing Julian Lewis out there. That's just how I feel about it. So, what did you guys think? I'll get to a few of your comments and then get out of here. It was Martavius French and TB, says technically T. Yeah, I don't like that. French coming up, punching TB in the face mask, and then nobody's doing anything, man. How many times do we really got to see that? Our offensive line just stand there and just take it. Come on now, man. At least, that's kind of the rumor. We'll see if he hasn't been on the field lately. That's what the people say. So that'll be something to monitor. And if he does leave in the portal, then hopefully we bring in another running back, because I'd like to have another running back in there to replace him. Charlie Offerdahl's getting carries in the spring. I'm cool with that. Not as cool with that in the regular season. What's going on, Lady C? What do you think about Freddie Brock, who's in the transfer portal? Dude, I know nothing about Freddie Brock. Let's take a look. From Georgia State. Woohoo. 5'9" or 5'10", 190-pound junior from Georgia State this past year. Wow, he's been in college for a long time, since 2020. And at Georgia State, he averaged 5.4 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns, and 819 yards. All right, cool. Got some receiving chops as well. Had 21 receptions, 166 yards, and a touchdown. Cool. Had a huge game against Texas State. 18 carries, 133 yards, 7.4 average, 3 touchdowns. Texas State was a good team last year. Huh. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm not picky right now. Now, to be honest, I haven't even looked at transfer portal options right now yet in the spring. But hey, Rodney Freeman, taking a look at Freddie Brock. Yeah, sure. Seems like he's got some talent and could, add to this room if we are missing somebody like Isaiah Gustin. Yo, Dave, what do you think about the dire wolf news in Dallas? Are you stoked? Dude, what? Colossal Biosciences resurrects extinct dire wolf species. Dude, that's cool. I know that they've been working, that Australian company has been working with the woolly mammoth and the mouses. So now you got woolly mouses, and they're trying to bring back the woolly mammoth. They're a few years away from doing that. So, I mean, man, that's pretty cool. Can we find a Stegosaurus, though? That's what I really care about. Stegosaurus is my favorite dinosaur. If we can bring that back and then do like a real Jurassic Park, that's what I'm talking about. You could probably put that woolly mammoth in the Jurassic Park as well. I think that would work. Yeah, Terrell Timmons, man, had a really nice touchdown. Again, I'm expecting a nice role for him this year. Gennaro, do you think Kaidon will have a breakout season, or should he hit the portal? Well, as long as he doesn't have a high ankle sprain, I think he'll look better than he looked last year. Working with Marshall Faulk, working with a better running back coach. Sorry, Coach Flea, but working with a better running back coach with Marshall Faulk, I think is going to benefit him. So I don't know. It depends on what you see as breakout. I think he's going to have a better year. I'm going to hope that all these guys break out. But I do not think he should hit the portal, especially with the news or the rumor circulating that Isaiah Gustin might be hitting the portal. I don't like that. I don't think you're going to have a bunch of big-time guys enter the spring portal at the running back position, at least in years past. That really hasn't been the case. We'll see. Dude, I'm so pumped up about Joseph Williams, man. Him, Omari Miller, the rest of the cast, Draylon Miller, Isaiah Harge. I'm really pumped about Isaiah Harge, but Joseph Williams, man, Huge addition to this room. Yeah. AI is not in the portal. Let me just say that again. He's not in the portal. That's just kind of been the rumor. We'll see. We'll see. He could just be out due to injury or something like that. But that just seems to be the rumor right now that he will be moving on. I don't know. Fan Talk Colorado. Who should start at running back? With what I saw last year, I guess, I really like Michael Welsh, but I will say Dallin Hayden, I think right now is the best receiver that we have in that room by far. So if you're looking for a more all-around guy, I think it is Dallin Hayden, but we do need another running back right now. Yeah, and again, that's just the rumor, guys. That's just the rumor. That's what all the people chatting online are saying. So we'll see what news comes from that over the next week or so. Where's Cash Cleveland? I think he might be hurt. We'll have to see. And I feel this way, technically, T, that Dallin Hayden, he is more kind of built in that and skilled similarly, more similar to like a all-around skill set like Marshall Faulk than Augustive. So, yeah, we're really going to have to see. Don't give a damn, again, giving an opinion that we do not give a damn about another overreaction on just a random Tuesday afternoon from Don't Give a Damn. Always worried, about the things that don't matter in April. CU really has issues getting high schoolers on campus for visits. Not a good look if Zay is hitting the portal. Not a good look, again, guys, holy moly, this is 2025. This is 2025. Don't give a damn. Every single college football team, dude, has turnover, man. Again, a guy like Isaiah Augustive entering the transfer portal, it's nothing like Jordan Seaton or like a true like core guy as part of this program leaving. You guys probably don't like to hear this, but running back is dime a dozen, man. It really is. There are plenty of good running backs out there. I don't care if they're 6-year running backs. Come in here and perform, man. We're talking about a running back. No, don't give a damn. I think that, you might need to own up to this take a little bit, because I think that when we were talking last week, it was about Deacon Schmidt, a couple of those guys, about how it doesn't seem like we're putting in the effort right now, right? Things aren't looking good. I think you asked me, do we have a shot at them? And I said, no, not right now, especially if they're not visiting. And then what do we see? Deacon Schmidt visits this past weekend, man. You got to give this recruiting staff props when things like that happen. Yeah. You just got to give them props when things happen. I was referring to the running back out of high school. Dude, are you telling me you're worried about Marshall Faulk not being able to recruit the running back position? Again, I know he hasn't signed any guys yet, but that's just not something that in April I really care to worry much about at all, man. We're going to just have to see how it plays out. But I think Isaiah, again, I think what these high school running backs are going to pay attention to is not who is entering or coming here from the portal in April. It's going to be how any of these running backs perform in the fall, how our running game performs in the fall. That's going to be our best recruiting tool with Marshall Faulk. Yeah. Now, again, don't give a damn. I am trolling you a little bit because I feel like you're always bringing up these recruiting concerns. But again, man, that's just how I feel about it is, it's April, man. I'm just asking a common question. I understand, man. I'm giving you a tough time, just like you give me a tough time half the time as well. But yeah, man, who cares about high school? We know how this works. Any other program, we would likely be worried about not having 126 commit right now. But that's just not how this whole thing operates. It's just a little bit different. And I'm a little bit more carefree, especially now with Coach Prime signing that extension on the recruiting stuff right now for the class of 2026, man. I'm just I think the biggest recruiting tool for us is just going to be how we play in the fall. And if we play tougher, if our offensive line doesn't let themselves get bodied by G5 transfer linebackers, then I feel like we're going to be in a great spot attracting great talent. But that is much bigger. The attitude and the style in which they play is the thing that I'm more worried about rather than who exactly we got our target on for high school classes right now. Yeah. And guys, we're also like super picky for better or for worse. We know that that's how the staff operates with recruiting is that they're incredibly picky when it comes to who they allow to come and visit on campus. Brady B, I don't think they have an issue getting people on campus. I do feel like they miss out on some guys getting involved this late, but the classes get better every year. So trusting in the process. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly, man. I think that that's a wonderful way to put it. You know, there's some drawbacks to getting involved late with these guys, but you know, some of them. Again, we got involved with Jordan Seaton really late, and how did that play out? London Merritt was another guy that we got involved with pretty late, if I remember. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's just what I remember. Yeah, you're right. Not worry about 26 recruits, but having Charlie as running back one is not a good look. Here's the thing: don't give a damn. Would we even be talking about Charlie Offerdahl getting reps with the second team if practice isn't put up on YouTube? Like, who cares? Who cares? There are guys like this every spring period, and it's not just with CU. It's these try-hard guys, man. They're setting the level of what these other guys got to get to, man. That's just how it is. Heck, you even see it sometimes with NFL squads, man. Sometimes you might have the veteran that's not as talented, especially at the quarterback, for instance, start out at OTAs and minicamp and all this sorts of stuff as the starter. Heck, Bo Nix wasn't working with the ones really during minicamp. You know, he might have rotated in, but it was mainly a Jared Stidham type of thing this past year, right? Again, dude, this is it's just practice stuff. Who cares? Who cares who's running with the twos right now for the most part in April? Yeah, I do not care. You win, they will come. You win, they will come. And that's why the biggest follower right now is this offensive line getting bodied by Martavius Bryant and the linebackers, not even the defensive line. That's got to change, man. We cannot be paying 3 offensive line coaches for our line to still not have a badass attitude. Anyone with a brain knew that was Bo Nix's job to lose, and that's exactly my point. That is exactly my point for the running back room as well. So, guys, I'm going to get out of here, keeping this a little. Sorry, I got the Premier League on. Keeping this a little short. Y'all have a wonderful day. Hopefully, we'll get some more updates. We'll figure out what the truth is right now with with some of these rumors with the transfer portal. But nonetheless, you guys know how it is. College football is fluid right now. It's going to be fun here when the transfer portal opens up and we see what additions and guys we have leave. What happens with the roster. So y'all hit the bell notification for when I go live next. Drop a video. Go Buffs.